Hi Year 2, welcome to today's geography lesson. Let me start by sharing my screen. So today we're going to be studying and looking at the transport options in New Delhi. Transport is just the way you and I get from place to place. Maybe we might take a bike, maybe we might take the underground in London or a bus. So transport is just a method we get from one place to the other. Okay. Let's start with our knowledge quiz. Question 1. So you're going to tell me this through the computer. What is the capital city of India? Is it New Delhi? Is it London? Or is it Kerala? What is the capital city of India? Tell me through the computer now. Well done if you said New Delhi. Okay, well done. Question 2. What is the rainy season of India called? We do not have this season in the UK, but what do we call the rainy season of India? Tell me through the computer. Well done if you said the monsoon season. If you said the monsoon season. Okay, lots of rainfall in the monsoon season. Question 3. How many seasons does the UK have? How many seasons does the UK have? Tell me through the computer. Well done if you said 4. Can you name them? Can you tell me the 4 seasons now? Well done. Summer, autumn, winter, spring. Okay. Let's have a question from our last unit. Who were the conspirators trying to kill in the gunpowder plot? Who were those Catholic men led by Robert Catesby trying to kill? Who were they trying to kill when they were going to blow up the Houses of Parliament? Is it King James I? Is it King Charles II? Is it Queen Elizabeth? Or was it Queen Victoria? Well done if you said King James I. That's who they were trying to kill. And last question, which you can't quite see, I don't think, is which season comes after summer? What comes after summer? Is it winter, autumn, summer, or spring? Winter, autumn, summer, or spring? What comes after summer? Tell me through the computer. Well done if you said autumn. Okay, that is the season that comes after summer. So let's start our lesson today. Remember, we are looking at different transport options in New Delhi. New Delhi, the capital of India. So some of our key words today are transport. Okay, a system of vehicles such as buses, trains, aircraft for getting from one place to the other. Okay. And we use transport to carry people, but we also use transport to carry goods, packages. So if you or your parents ever buy something, say on Amazon, and that box gets brought to your house, it's being carried via different modes of transport, okay? But if you were going to the USA on holiday, you would probably take different modes of transport to get there. You would certainly take a plane, okay? But you might take a train to get to the airport. You might take a car to get to the airport. So we use different types of transport. Another key word we're going to be looking at today is pollution. And pollution is damage that is caused to water and air by harmful substances or waste, okay? So sometimes, unfortunately, we damage our water or we damage the air we live in. And when that's happened, that is called pollution. And the other word we're going to look at today is smog, which is a mixture of smoke, gases and chemicals, which you especially get in cities, and it makes the air difficult to breathe. And it's actually harmful for our health, okay? So smog tends to exist in cities, okay? And it's linked with pollution. But let's start our learning. Types of transport in New Delhi. So in New Delhi, there are many types of transport, okay? There's a plethora, a variety of types of transport. You can see lorries, trains, cars, buses, scooters, bicycles, rickshaws, and you can see people on foot walking too. And we can see in this picture here, we've got a bicycle, we've got a rickshaw, we've got motorbikes, we've got a bus in the back, people walking, many types of transport. Okay. New Delhi is a very populated place. Okay, there's lots of people who live there. One of the busiest, biggest cities in the world. And the trains and the buses are sometimes very overcrowded. So people sometimes need to ride on the roof of the vehicles. Okay, so sometimes you see people sitting on the top of a train or maybe on the top of a bus. Okay, because so many people, and there sometimes isn't enough transport to get a person from the place they're starting to the place they need to be. Another type of transport I want to mention is a rickshaw, which you might know is something called a tuk-tuk, and other cities have these as well, but they're very common in New Delhi. Okay, they're one of the most popular modes of transport in the city. And what is a rickshaw or a tuk-tuk? It's a 2 or 3 wheeled passenger car. Normally you would see 3 wheels, and you can see here on this vehicle here, this tuk-tuk, there's 2 wheels at the back and there's 1 at the front, what you call sometimes a 3-wheel car. Okay, so really, really important that we know those types. So there are, one more time, lorries, trains, cars, buses, scooters, bicycles, rickshaw, and sometimes obviously you see lots of people walking on foot. And we can see some here, all the different types of transport. And you can see here a very overcrowded train. Okay, the trains go very, very slowly. India is known for its rail network. Okay, it has a vast rail network throughout the country. Right, it actually, the people who work for the Indian Railway, they have so many people working for them, and almost that company, I think, is one of the biggest employers in the world. Okay, so it's really important that we know in India, New Delhi, the train network, people taking trains, is a really important way that people move around India. And here, obviously, we can see buses, we can see cars, tuk-tuks, we can see lorries transporting goods here. So there's a wide variety of types of transport in New Delhi. But there are downsides of having this huge amounts of this huge amount of cars and vehicles. Okay, New Delhi is one of the most populated cities in the world, so there are many vehicles. There is a large amount of pollution in the city because of the fumes. When we use vehicles such as a car, a motorbike, a bus, it gives out, for the car to work, it gives out some really not very nice fumes and gases that aren't good for our world. Okay, it gives out this pollution, and part of this pollution in New Delhi causes smog. And remember, when we spoke about smog, it is a mixture of smoke, gases and chemicals, especially in cities, that makes the air difficult to breathe, and it can be harmful for our health. All right, so this air pollution causes smog in New Delhi, and the cold high air in the city, so the cold air that floats above, traps the smog in, and people have to breathe it in sometimes. And I think it was only 2 years ago that planes weren't allowed to land in New Delhi because there was so much smog happening, and they had to reduce the amount of pollution. So, activity 1, how could New Delhi reduce the amount of pollution? And you can see here, the city, you can see the smog here, which makes it difficult to look through sometimes. So, what could, talk to your partners, talk to your hand, talk to your cuddly toy, what could the people of New Delhi do to reduce the amount of pollution? Feel free to pause the video now and have a good think, and then write down a couple of answers, or think about a couple of answers, and then tell me through the computer. Well, hopefully you've come up with a few suggestions about what the people of New Delhi could do to reduce the amount of pollution. Maybe they could use bicycles more. Maybe people could walk more, so they don't need to use the vehicles that use petrol and release the pollution. Okay, Maybe they could have more buses, so more people can go on the buses, and you've got less people using individual cars and scooters and motorbikes. That would be another solution. Maybe using more what we call green transport, okay, using vehicles that are more modern and do not pollute as much. They're actually looking to build, year two, an underground in New Delhi as well. So I think they're going to be working with China, and they're actually going to be building a little underground network, okay, which will be more environmentally friendly. And maybe if they start to do these things, we will have pollution go down. We do things in London to help pollution. There are certain days that if you drive into London, you have to pay money to be able to do so. That's to discourage people to say, try not to drive in London. We also have really good public transport. So a lot of people get the underground to work, people get the bus, so we have less people driving their own cars. We have bicycles all over the city, which you can go and get. And when you ride a bicycle, obviously it will not pollute. So maybe, not just New Delhi, other countries are looking at ways to reduce their pollution and almost get rid of this smog, because we know smog can really be bad for somebody's health. Okay, but it is difficult in New Delhi for them to do this. Why? The local transport is the lifeline of the capital city of Delhi. It's so important for people to be able to move around. They might have to go distances where they can't walk that far. They need to take the bus. They need to get on a tuk-tuk. They need to take their motorbike. More than half of the population in Delhi is dependent, which means they need local transport for commuting. And commuting is when you talk about going to work. So I commute to Ark Franklin from my flat. How do I get there? I take a train. That's how I commute. Sometimes I cycle, and in summer I try to walk, even though it's a little bit further. Why? Because I want to kind of not pollute as much. But it's difficult for a lot of people. It's hard for people to use better for the environment transport like bikes and bicycles because they have further to go. But it's what places like New Delhi are looking to do because they need to care about the air quality of the city. But it is a challenge because there's so many people who need to get into vehicles. And this isn't just a challenge, year two, for New Delhi. This is a challenge for lots of cities in the world because we all know we need to be taking care of our planet. And where we can, pollute less and have better quality air. So that is the end of this video. I don't want to overwhelm you with information, okay? But really important thing to realize today is New Delhi has lots of different types of transport, such as lorries, trains, cars, buses, scooters, bicycles, rickshaw, and people on foot. Many types of transport. Because of all those types of transport, New Delhi, and the amount of people, New Delhi produces a lot of pollution, and that enables the smog to form, and that smog is trapped in the city, which some people breathe in, okay, which can damage their health. What you're going to do now for your second activity is to look at the picture strip on the piece of paper, and can you write down all the types of transport you can see in New Delhi? Once you've done that, I would like you to circle the vehicles that you think will cause pollution and make the smog worse. So circle the vehicles that you've written down that you think will cause pollution. If you've done that and you would like an extension, what types of transport does London have in common with New Delhi? What types of transport can you see in that photo that you would also see in London? So remember, we are comparing the United Kingdom with another part of the world, focusing on India and New Delhi specifically. Anyway, feel free to watch this video again. I'll speak to you all later. Bye bye.